Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Asia Sharma. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Tuesday, the 2nd of January. Opposition in Indian Parliament objects to clause in bill against Muslim instant divorce. US President Trump targets Pakistan on Twitter, threatens to cut aid. And India's Jammu and Kashmir freezes as cold wave intensifies. And now for all the details. India's opposition parties have raised objection to criminality clause in a bill aimed at prosecuting Muslim men who divorce their wives through the triple talaq or instant divorce. The bill, which was passed in the lower house of the parliament last week, is now set to face a tough passage in the upper house.
India's opposition parties on Tuesday rejected the criminality clause in a bill aimed at prosecuting Muslim men who divorce their wives through the triple talaq or instant divorce. The bill, which was passed in the lower house of Indian Parliament Lok Sabha last week, was to be tabled in the upper house Rajya Sabha later on Tuesday. It is expected to have a tough passage in Rajya Sabha, where unlike Lok Sabha, ruling BJP party does not have the numbers. The bill, if approved, would make the practice a non-bailable offence with a possible 3-year jail term.
बनने जा रहा है, उसमें क्रिमिनलिटी क्लॉज नहीं होना चाहिए. तो ऐसे मुद्दों पे और भी बहुत सी चीज़ें हैं जो कि इस कानून को मजबूत बनना चाहिए.
In August, the Supreme Court ruled unconstitutional the law which allows Muslim men to divorce their wives simply by uttering the word talaq 3 times. Muslim women had petitioned the court, arguing the practice of husbands divorcing them through triple talaq, including by Skype and WhatsApp, not only violated their rights but left many destitute.
15 Pakistani refugees who had migrated to India more than a decade back were given Indian citizenship on Monday. The refugees included 8 men and 7 women who had been trying to get the citizenship for a long time.
15 Pakistani refugees who had migrated to India more than a decade back took pledge for Indian citizenship in Udaipur city of India's northern Rajasthan province on Monday. The refugees belonging to the Sindhi community included 8 males and 7 female members. The newly made citizens had been trying for Indian citizenship for a long time.
आज हमने शपथ ग्रहण की है इन भारतीय नागरिकता के लिए और मैं बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं हमारे सभी साथियों का और सभी जो हमारे यहाँ पे हैं.
Pakistani minorities have also sought Indian citizenship in the past as they blame they are targeted by fundamentalist groups in Pakistan. There are still hundreds of refugees in northern Rajasthan province seeking Indian citizenship.
In news from Pakistan, US President Donald Trump slammed Pakistan on Monday, declaring on Twitter that the US had over the last 15 years foolishly given $33 billion in aid to Islamabad that gave safe haven to terrorists, whom the US hunts in Afghanistan.
US President Donald Trump on Monday kicked off 2018 with tweets aimed at Pakistan and threatened to cut aid. Trump said that the United States has foolishly handed Pakistan more than $33 billion in aid over the last 15 years, while getting nothing in return, and pledged to put a stop to it. While unveiling the new US national security strategy in December, Trump had said that the United States wanted Pakistan to take decisive action against terrorist groups operating on its territory. He had emphasized that the US makes massive payments every year to Pakistan, and it needs to help it in the fight against militancy. Meanwhile, Pakistan's Foreign Minister Khwaja Asif said on Twitter that Pakistan will respond to President Trump's tweet shortly and will let the world know the truth. A federal cabinet meeting which was supposed to be chaired by Pakistani Prime Minister on Tuesday following Trump's statement was postponed till Wednesday evening. Pakistan has maintained it has done enough and sacrificed a lot in the war against terrorism.
Moving on, the Pakistani establishment has maintained an indifferent attitude towards the people of illegally occupied Pakistan-administered Kashmir. Locals say with the winter comes another discomforting season with no electricity is available for running small businesses, educational institutions and other trades in the region.
frequent power cuts are common in Pakistan-administered Kashmir. Unscheduled and long hours of load shedding have hit the businesses and studies of children. Locals in the illegally occupied region have urged for immediate action and threatened to stage protests against the authorities if the problem is not resolved.
इनका कोई टाइम टेबल नहीं है जहाँ जिस गांव में हम रहते हैं कि कितने घंटे जाती है और कितने अपनी मर्जी से 3 घंटे आ रही है अगर तो 4 घंटे चली जाएगी अगर 1 घंटा आ रही है पूरा दिन चली जाएगी मिसाल के तौर पर बारिश लग गई है तो बारिश में तो बिल्कुल चली जाएगी अगर बर्फ लग गई है तो फिर तो बिजली के बारे में सोचें भी ना कि वो बिजली आएगी.
Locals allege it is part of Islamabad's agenda to keep the region underdeveloped. Pakistan-administered Kashmir was illegally occupied by Pakistan more than 6 decades ago. However, the Pakistani establishment has failed to develop the infrastructure of the region, leaving the people high and dry.
In news from Afghanistan, the year 2017 saw a spate in attacks by militant groups in Afghanistan, which left thousands of civilians dead and wounded. A Human Rights Commission recently claimed over 1,900 civilians were killed or wounded in the southern Helmand province alone last year.
The Afghanistan Independent Human Rights Commission, or AIHRC, recently said over 1,900 civilians were killed or wounded in southern Helmand province in the year 2017. AIHRC claimed that all the victims were killed or wounded as a result of the war, including explosions and terror attacks in the Afghan province. Local officials, on the other hand, blamed the Taliban for most of the fatalities among the civilians. The casualty count in Helmand province comes at a time when Afghan security forces are still tackling insurgents in the country. At least 15 persons were killed and several were wounded in a suicide bomb attack in eastern Afghanistan on Sunday, though there was no immediate claim of responsibility for the attack.
More on news from Afghanistan. A music festival was held in Afghanistan's capital, Kabul city, on Monday to denounce violence and give hope to those suffering due to ongoing war between insurgents and the government. The festival included songs, releasing of pigeons, and the symbolic burial of bullets.
A music festival was held in Kabul on Monday to denounce violence and give hope to those suffering because of the ongoing war and violence in the country. The festival included songs, releasing of pigeons, symbolic burial of bullets, and clicking of pictures. The festival was held under the motto, "The darkness of war and the whiteness of peace." The event aimed at showing support for the security forces, promoting peace in the country, and condemning terrorism.
جان دوباره روح دوباره هم به نیروهای امنیتی افغانستان بدیم هم به مردم داغدار افغانستان که صلح رویا نیست صلح ممکن است اگر ما زبان گفتمان را در رأس رفتارها و کارکردهایمان انشالله قرار بدهیم.
The festival came at a time when people of Afghanistan are tired of bloodshed and want the warring sides and the insurgents to stop killing the people. It demonstrated a sense of hope to the security forces and to the people of Afghanistan.
In a bid to make people understand that members of transgender community are no less than others, a fashion show with transgender models was recently organized in Indian capital, New Delhi.
A fashion show for transgender women promoting gender equality was recently held in Indian capital, New Delhi. Transgender models during the show walked the ramp dressed in outfits designed by renowned names of the fashion industry. The first of its kind show was aimed at telling everybody transgender women are no less than others.
Definitely, I think it will be a lot of craze because हम लोग एक ऐसा मुकाम पे आए हैं like where everybody has to come out with an open mind and accepting जो है हम लोग के आसपास और understanding, and that's how the change will happen.
The idea for the fashion show stemmed from the tragic Orlando nightclub shooting, a hate crime targeted at the LGBT community. A man armed with an assault rifle and pledging loyalty to Islamic State killed 50 people during a gay pride celebration at the nightclub in Orlando, Florida in June 2016.
Temperature dropped across North India on Tuesday due to the ongoing cold wave in India's Jammu and Kashmir province. A thick blanket of snow paralyzed life in Pahalgam town of India's northern Kashmir province, with residents largely choosing to stay indoors.
A thick blanket of snow paralyzed life in Pahalgam town of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Tuesday, with residents largely choosing to stay indoors. Some residents who stepped out sat around bonfires to keep themselves warm, while others wore multiple layers of clothing as they stepped out. Pahalgam town recorded a temperature of -6.6 degrees Celsius on Monday night. Snowfall in Indian Kashmir has a direct impact on temperatures in lower northern provinces of India.
यहाँ सर्वाइव करना बहुत मुश्किल है। यहाँ -5 है, नल हमारे लग जाते हैं, उनमें से पानी नहीं आता है, तो हमें रात भर उनको ऑन ही रखना पड़ता है, खोल के रखना पड़ता है ताकि वो दोबारा से लग ना जाएं। और सवेरे 6 बजे 5 बजे से ही यहाँ पे ऐसा माहौल क्रिएट हो जाता है कि सर्दी बढ़ जाती है, कोहरा लग जाता है। जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं कि रोड्स हमारे जो होते हैं वो फुली उन पे वो क्या कहें आपको कोहरा लग जाता है, गाड़ियों का चलना मुश्किल हो जाता है, फिर धीरे धीरे ठीक हो जाता है।
Kashmir is currently grappling with Chillai Kalan, a 40-day-long period of harshest winter. Life in the valley remains disrupted during this period as heavy snow blocks roads, highways and water bodies, including the famous Dal Lake, freeze.
Hundreds of devotees thronged Kamakhya temple in India's northeastern Assam province on Monday to offer prayers on the first day of the new year. The devotees prayed to invoke divine blessings throughout the year.
Scores of devotees thronged Kamakhya temple in Guwahati city of India's northeastern Assam province on Monday to offer prayers on the first day of 2018 to welcome the new year. Devotees lit up earthen lamps and offered prayers to Hindu goddess Kamakhya, the consort of another Hindu god, Lord Shiva. They paid obeisance to the goddess and sought blessings to give a holy start to the new year.
माँ का पास आया, पहला दिन है साल का, आया है, दर्शन करके जाता है ताकि साल बढ़िया से चले, शुभ हो, अच्छा हो, दिन हो, सबका खुशहाल से भर जाए।
माँ का दर्शन कर रहे हैं, यहाँ आके धन्य धन्य हो गया। पहली बार मैं आया यहाँ, लेकिन माता रानी का कृपा है कि फिर अगले साल भी यहाँ आऊँ।
The holy shrine was decorated with marigold flowers and garlands, and priests were seen performing rituals. People across India visit holy shrines, organize family get-togethers or indulge in fun activities to mark the beginning of the new year.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Opposition in Indian Parliament objects to clause in bill against Muslim instant divorce. US President Trump targets Pakistan on Twitter, threatens to cut aid. And India's Jammu and Kashmir freezes as cold wave intensifies. Now viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/AsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @AsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.